Hi, beauties. I wanted to record this for you as, I guess, a bonus or a special. Um, and it's about dreaming, but it's not about the dream realm. It's not about dreaming as maybe you know it, which is when you fall asleep and you have a dream. So, not that kind of dream. I'm talking about the dream that we are all having right now as I speak. This is a dream. So in Hinduism, in Hindu scripture, and possibly Buddhism, I'm not as highly studied within Buddhism, but I know for certain in Hinduism, um, the higher self is ultimately, or I would say, the divine is the dreamer, and there is a you, and then there's another you. And I'm trying my best to describe this in very basic terms because when you read the Hindu description of this, it can get very psychological as well. It can get really, um, I don't like the word advanced because it's not that it's advanced, it's just the language is complicated and it doesn't need to be. So, there is the you that you think you are, which is, for example, me, the me that I think I am is this avatar right here, my curly hair, my brown eyes, the person that's speaking to you, the person that I think I am based off of my life's journey. That's who I think I am. And then there's the real me. So where's the real me? The real me, and this is really complicated. Some argue that the real you is either your higher self or the divine or both. That your higher self is the divine. That you are a part of God. So in one sense, you could think of this as a co-creation. Another way to think about this, which is spoken about in Hindu scripture, is that everything that we see, everything that we experience is a maya. It's an illusion. All of this is a dream. So that's the dream that I wanted to talk to you about. The dream that's being co-written and co-created, co-produced by the you that you think you are and the real you. So where this gets complicated, or I guess maybe I could say dangerous, is that if you are not connected to the real you, your higher self, then you can be creating a bad dream. And which is why it's really important to not watch certain movies or listen to certain music or even write things or say things, because every moment, every second, everything is a creation. And we're speaking our lives over ourselves, essentially. But since the real you is in another dimension, and it's essentially, even this moment is being spoken over, everything is um, said before it becomes an image. And so someone somewhere is speaking this reality over me and you right now. And there are many reasons why this is important. One is to kind of distinguish between manifestation and alignment, like true alignment, and the unreal versus the real. So manifestation is something that some would argue is not something that you should attempt, because you could accidentally be creating a dream that's not for you, that's out of your highest timeline. In one way that is true, because the divine has such big dreams for us that we're too, stuck in our little lovely beautiful worlds, that we don't see these bigger dreams for ourselves. So in some ways, manifestation is not a good practice. In other ways it is, but I won't get into that right now. I also wanted to explain the difference between manifestation and alignment. Alignment, which is remaining in flow with spirit, connected to the divine and to your higher self, so that you can use your intuition and feeling about your guidance, about what path to take, about what to do. You know, when you feel an inkling, that's like your inner yes or no. Like, ooh, yes, I should do that. No, I shouldn't do that. And versus this dream that we're having. So the alignment portion is really important because it helps not only keeping you connected to the divine, but keeping you in this observation state, which is a little bit outside of you. Just a little bit, because I know that in some cases that's not the right way to think, right? Like we want to see, there's like a deep inner you, like the inner heart, like the body speaks, etc. But in this one case, seeing yourself from the outside is the way to experience what I'm describing, which is the you versus the real you. And so there is a goddess that I have prayed to and I've worked with in the past. I only recommend you working with her and praying to her or chanting her mantras if you've been doing this work for a long time. So there's a little bit of warning here because it can get you into a very confusing state. Because first of all, we're here on earth and we are meant to just enjoy this life and experience this life. But some of us spiritual folks, we want to experience it a little bit differently. And if it's possible to do this. And so it's not that it's wrong. It just can, in the wrong, I guess you could say the wrong hands, maybe, it can snap you out of the unreal and put you in the real, but then your body is still in the real. So then you end up like, you're like too up in the spiritual realms. And in another way of saying that is that you're just too spiritual. Like you're for example, I guess the word too spiritual. There's this story of this very awakened earthly being. I guess she's considered a Hindu high priestess, that when she had this like ultimate awakening with the divine, she thought everything was so beautiful because she was just so immersed with divine love that these kids were like throwing poop at her, and she was just so in love with love that she was just like ha 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 ha. She was just like laughing it off. So in other words, it can put you in a dangerous situation if you haven't practiced this, or if you're not in the right place. So with all that said, you can pray to Chinnamasta, and Chinnamasta is a Hindu goddess that chops off her own head. And that is relevant for many reasons. One, it's a great practice to just be in the heart space, just chop off your head, right? Because the head is where the mind is, the talking, all that. And the heart space is the bridge to the divine. So when you pray to Chinnamasta, she will give you that experience and you can ask her. So I've asked her. I was just like laying in bed once and I was chanting her mantra maybe for about a month. And at the end of the month, she finally showed me. And it was a little scary at first because you are kind of, for a moment, you're like separated from yourself in a way. Like it's almost like you're on the outside looking at yourself. It separates the real you from the you think you are. And it's nice to have that experience because it just kind of puts you in check. It kind of makes you realize, oh, there is something else out there or up there. It also gets you curious, right? Like, okay, well then sometimes I get to this place where I'm not liking what's going on around me, and I will talk to my higher self like, excuse me, can you please change the story? Like, what kind of story are you trying to speak over me right now? Because I'm not liking this. So, yeah, I hope I explained that okay. So if you're interested, you can, some of this is spoken about in the Bhagavad Gita, which describes the not only the war within, but also the you versus the real you. And I think in psychology, I'm sure this is written about somewhere, but I just don't care for that language. I'm sure you could try to find this description within the science realm. But yeah, I just wanted to share that with you just to kind of like maybe put you in another state of mind, because it can help you in a lot of cases. Like if you're like really sad, for example, right? And then you remember, wait, this is a dream. Wait, I have power. I can speak my reality into existence. I have full control over this. So what am I doing sitting here sulking and sitting here crying? So that's why I wanted to record this for you. So I love you so much. I hope that resonates. Namaste.